The name Senegalese tirailleurs echoes through history as a powerful symbol of African participation in the world wars. Yet, this designation, though widely used, is often misleading and profoundly incomplete. Far from being exclusively from Senegal, these soldiers were recruited across a vast and diverse geographical expanse of French West and Central Africa. From the arid plains of Mali to the lush forests of Congo, from Guinea to Chad, men of myriad ethnicities were conscripted or enlisted. They formed a colonial force whose collective history is an intricate tapestry woven with threads of heroism, immense sacrifice, and profound tragedy. This video explores the true extent of their recruitment, delving into the complex motivations behind their involvement. Whether it was a desperate act of voluntarism or the harsh reality of coercion, we will examine the often brutal and dehumanizing conditions of their service, both on battlefields and within the colonial military structure. Our journey will take us deep into their harrowing experiences on the devastated battlefields of the First and Second World Wars, highlighting their unwavering bravery and resilience in the face of an unimaginable enemy. Crucially, we will also confront the systemic discriminations and blatant injustices they endured, not only from their adversaries, but often from the very colonial power they served. Furthermore, we will shed light on their pivotal role in the burgeoning African independence movements, and the painfully slow and still incomplete recognition of their immense sacrifices. This is a complex, multi-layered story, essential for a nuanced understanding of African heritage and the modern world. The appellation Senegalese tirailleurs first emerged in 1857, largely due to Louis Faidherbe, governor of Senegal. Initially, this term accurately designated military units primarily recruited within Senegal itself. However, as the French colonial empire expanded, the recruitment net stretched far beyond Senegal's borders. It came to encompass the entirety of French West Africa, AOF, and French Equatorial Africa, AEF. This meant soldiers were drawn from territories like Mali, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, Benin, Guinea, Niger, Mauritania, and extending into Central Africa to include Chad, Congo, the Central African Republic, and Gabon. These men hailed from dozens of distinct ethnic groups, each speaking their own languages and holding diverse beliefs. Despite this rich tapestry of origins, they were unified under the single, simplifying, and ultimately misleading label. This profound diversity is a fundamental, yet frequently overlooked aspect of their history. Understanding this geographical and cultural breadth is paramount to appreciating the true scope of their collective experience. The reasons compelling these African men to join the ranks were rarely straightforward, a complex interplay of desperation, opportunity, and brutal force. For some, enlistment represented a stark escape from dire circumstances, poverty, famine, or local conflicts. The colonial army offered a semblance of stability, a regular salary, consistent rations, and social prestige. However, for a far greater number, enlistment was the direct consequence of intense pressure, bordering on coercion. The infamous impôt du sang, blood tax, compelled village chiefs to supply a predetermined quota of men. Failure to meet these quotas often resulted in severe reprisals against the entire community. Recruitment methods were frequently brutal, involving forced conscription, raids on villages, and even abductions. The alluring promise of French citizenship, land, or a decent pension proved to be a cruel illusion for many. Yet, these promises motivated some to risk their lives for a colonial power that regarded them as subjects, never equals. This dual nature of enlistment, a blend of desperate hope and systemic oppression, is central to understanding their journey. When the cataclysm of the First World War erupted in 1914, France turned massively to its vast colonial empire. Hundreds of thousands of tirailleurs were dispatched to the brutal Western Front, a landscape utterly alien to them. There, they were plunged into the nightmarish reality of trench warfare, a static, attritional conflict. They fought with remarkable bravery and resilience, enduring bombardments, gas attacks, and psychological toll. Their valor was evident in iconic battles such as the Marne, Verdun, and the Chemin des Dames, where they often bore the brunt of the most dangerous assaults. While their courage was lauded, they were tragically perceived and utilized as cannon fodder, disproportionately assigned to the most perilous frontline positions. The conditions were appalling: biting cold, suffocating mud, toxic gases, hunger, disease, and overt racism. The mortality rate among the tirailleurs was horrifyingly high, a stark testament to their sacrifice. Following the armistice of 1918, the return home for many tirailleurs was often fraught with disillusionment. Promises made during enlistment remained unfulfilled. Many were demobilized without assured pensions. Others found themselves repurposed to enforce the very colonial order they had fought to preserve. The interwar period saw a decrease in recruitment, but with rising tensions, France again turned to its colonies. The Second World War triggered another massive mobilization of African forces. The tirailleurs fought valiantly in the desperate defense of France in 1940, subsequently engaging in campaigns across North Africa, the arduous Italian front, and Allied landings in Provence. Their contributions were undeniably pivotal in the eventual liberation of France. However, their bravery and sacrifice were, yet again, overshadowed by pervasive discrimination. The infamous whitewashing of troops replacing African soldiers for victory parades is a blatant example. The tragic Thiaroye massacre in 1944, where demobilized tirailleurs, demanding their long overdue back pay, were brutally gunned down by the French army, remains a deep and unhealed scar in this complex history, symbolizing the ultimate betrayal of their service. Throughout their entire period of service, from enlistment to demobilization and beyond, the tirailleurs were subjected to a relentless and systemic discrimination. Their pay consistently lagged behind that of their French counterparts, and their pensions, a hard-earned right, were frequently frozen or drastically reduced. They were often segregated into separate camps, subjected to different and inferior rules, and frequently treated with overt contempt and disdain. This profound injustice persisted for many decades after the cessation of hostilities, with African veterans forced into a protracted and arduous struggle to secure the same fundamental rights and recognition afforded to their French comrades. The process of decrystallization, unfreezing, of pensions, a long and emotionally draining battle for financial equity, only began much later in the 20th century, and full equality in pension rights was achieved only very recently, a testament to the enduring nature of colonial-era injustices. This protracted fight for recognition underscores the deep-seated inequalities that permeated the colonial system and the persistent efforts required to rectify historical wrongs. Despite the pervasive injustices and the profound human cost, the participation of the tirailleurs in the world wars had an undeniable and transformative impact on the African continent. By fighting alongside Europeans, they gained invaluable exposure to the wider world, witnessing firsthand the vulnerabilities and hypocrisies of the colonial powers. This experience often fostered a heightened political awareness and a burgeoning sense of shared identity. Many former tirailleurs, having witnessed the world beyond their villages, became instrumental figures in the burgeoning independence movements. Their collective sacrifice, though exploited, inadvertently contributed to the forging of a nascent national and Pan-African identity, laying groundwork for future self-determination. Today, the memory of the tirailleurs remains a potent and often contentious subject of debate, reconciliation, and historical re-evaluation. Across Africa and in France, monuments are being erected, films and books are meticulously documenting their stories, and concerted efforts are being made to ensure that their invaluable contributions are no longer relegated to the forgotten annals of history. Their enduring legacy serves as a powerful and poignant reminder of the intricate complexities of colonial relations, the indomitable spirit of human resilience in the face of adversity, and the urgent, ongoing necessity to acknowledge and integrate all facets of history, particularly those that have been marginalized or suppressed. The history of the African tirailleur is far more than a mere footnote in military annals. It is a profound and multifaceted narrative of courage, unparalleled sacrifice, but also of systemic injustice and an unyielding struggle for dignity and recognition. By truly understanding that these men hailed from an entire continent, a vibrant mosaic of cultures and peoples, and not merely from a single nation, we begin to grasp the true, immense scale of their contribution to global conflicts and, by extension, to the shaping of the modern world. They fought with extraordinary valor for a France that, regrettably, did not always treat them with the equity and respect they so profoundly deserved. Nevertheless, their bravery, their resilience, and their ultimate sacrifice left an indelible mark on world history, influencing geopolitical landscapes and inspiring future generations. Their collective memory serves as a powerful invitation for us to deeply reflect on the far-reaching consequences of colonization, on the intrinsic value of genuine recognition for all who contribute to history, and on the critical importance of how historical narratives are meticulously constructed, preserved, and transmitted across generations. It is an essential story, one that continues to resonate with profound relevance today, serving as a poignant reminder that the rich tapestry of humanity's past is intricately woven from multiple, diverse, and interconnected threads.